and their dirty words at our mayor and some of our other city, like the back of my hand. She is the kindest, smartest, wonderful person that I have ever met. And I'm 87, that's a long time. The city council people, all of them, I mean, they've been working so hard to get to where we are today. And today, we are a city that we can be proud of because we are being honest. They are being honest with the city of Santa Clara. And I would not be able to stand up and have anyone call our mayor a bitch, okay? And believe me, it was said. And I couldn't stand 2 minutes before I got up there, and I let them have it back. I'm not just saying that to be funny. I was livid, absolutely livid. It's okay. I mean, if she were someone that did bad things behind our back, spent our money unwisely, so many things that she was accused of, I wouldn't have said anything because it would have been the truth. But I'm not going to stand there and have them lie to these wonderful people that are running Santa Clara. I'm not going to stand for it. I love you guys. With all my heart, I love you. I know what you do because you know what? I go to city council meetings. I haven't been in a while because I've been sick. But when people come up to me and start ragging at our city council, my answer to them is, why don't you come into the city council meeting and speak your mind right to our mayor? She will listen to you. And as much as they swore at her and yelled at her, never once did I hear her say anything or do anything that was nasty. After they got through swearing at her and they sat down, she very kindly would say, "Thank you for speaking." Does that sound like a bad person to you? It's not, trust me. And I could talk from now until doomsday. I really could, couldn't I? But she told me to shorten it, so I shortened it. I could have said a heck of a lot more, but I'm telling you what, we are in good hands with the people that are running our city. They know what they're doing, and they're doing everything honestly, no matter what. And I know maybe you remember seeing me. I launder clothes, not money. You know who that was referring to? Mr. York. Because he was laundering clothes, and they knew it, and they used me as a scapegoat to do it, I guess, because I was on YouTube and all over saying, I launder clothes, not money. So watch out what you say about my mayor and my city council. Thank you. Love you.
Okay, let's go over here, Dorothy.
Wow,
Dorothy will now be on the security patrol for the mayor and council. We only need one person to protect us, and it's Dorothy Rosa.
People make the place, and as you just heard, we have amazing residents, businesses, and organizations right here in Santa Clara. And then I want to share with you, these are all the people and businesses as well as organizations that are being recognized at our State of the City event. So let's give a round of applause for all the award recipients. And without further ado, I will ask Mayor Lisa Gilmore to come forward to give the State of the City.
Thank you. I was going to have Dorothy Rosa do it, but I don't know. Her couple of minutes went into a long time. Thank you, Dorothy. This is a really great crowd, and thank you for lightening up the mood here, Dorothy. We appreciate it, and thank you to all the honorees for coming today. And congratulations. I wanted to recognize we have a new chancellor. I want to call it the Mission West Valley Community College District, but it's the West Valley Mission Community College District. Mark Davis, if you'd like, Brad Davis. There he is, Brad. Hi, Brad. I want to congratulate you and tell you we look forward to working with you. So thank you very much for coming. So I want to thank Lenka for the introduction and thank all of you for being here today. I especially want to thank my council colleagues. I want to introduce them and I'll talk a little bit about them later on. We have Councilmember Debbie Davis, Councilmember Kathy Watanabe, and Councilmember Karen Hardy. I'd also like to acknowledge our city manager, Deanna Santana. And our other appointed staff members, Brian Doyle and Lynn Lamb, our city auditor, are not here today. So I'm going to get started now. So this is the second year in a row that I've had delivered the State of the City outside of City Hall. It's not because we wanted cookies or free lunch. If you were at the senior center, all of you, you would have had a free lunch today. But it's because we all know that it's important to get out in the community and deliver the State of the City. And it's neighborhoods like this around Central Park, and this is part of District 5, Teresa O'Neill, who wasn't able to make it today. But it's all the people like you that make this really important today. So I want to applaud all of you for being here and taking time out of your busy day to come here as well. Before I was mayor, the State of the City was hosted by a business organization, and almost no residents attended. And that didn't seem right to me. In fact, I have a confession to make. I really didn't attend them either. I think it was $50 or $100 to attend. I didn't want to pay the money. So I knew something had to change. And the State of the City is something that Santa Clarans should really want to attend. The State of the City should be in neighborhoods and to make it easier for residents to find out really what's happening in the city, and that's why we're here today. And we're going to be in 3 neighborhoods in the next couple of days. Tomorrow we'll be in the Northside neighborhood at the Northside Library in Kathy Watanabe's district. And then Saturday, we're going to be at the Mission Library in the Old Quad area of Santa Clara. So this morning we were at the Senior Center, as I mentioned, with the free lunch. So there was nothing left over. We would have brought them here. But in City Hall, we really want to engage our residents. We want City Hall to be more open and transparent. And we want City Hall to honor the people, the organizations, and the businesses that really make Santa Clara a great place to live. And that's why I felt we should start this award recognition program that we just had to recognize the people, the businesses, and the organizations and honor them really throughout the city. And that's why each district council member has a person and a business to honor. So as I mentioned earlier, we moved the State of the City into our neighborhoods, and that was really important to me. It was a signal that we would do things differently, but it would be a hollow gesture unless we are truly doing things differently. So I'm proud to say that we are doing them differently, and we're doing them better. And the last few years since I've been mayor, I want to highlight some of the major reforms that we have looked at, and I want to give you a few good examples. So in 2016, many of you may remember a mysterious dark money group called Blue Pack that tried to buy our Santa Clara elections. They were a front for special interests that wanted to run City Hall. They failed, but we won't let them or any other group operate in the dark again. We created a dark money ordinance that went into effect in June of 2018, and I believe we were the first city to do that. So now everyone will know the source of contributions for city candidates or local ballot measures. I'm proud that Santa Clara took a big step in keeping Santa Clara elections clean. We are taking charge of some stadium operations. The 49ers may have committed some major violations of state labor laws. So it's our duty to make sure that the stadium operators follow the law and treat the workers fairly. It's the right thing to do. It's what Santa Clarans expect for our stadium. Santa Clara voters passed Measure J in 2010 to create the stadium and to protect our general fund. No city money or resources can be used for stadium construction or operations. But we learned through an audit in 2016 that I and some of my colleagues pushed for, that there were violations. We moved to fix that and improve our management and oversight. Today, we have completed nearly 70% of the Measure J audit recommendations, and there were 37 of them. It's the right thing to do and what Santa Clarans really expect from city government. We learned from another recent audit that our Chamber of Commerce was mismanaging our convention center. We took swift action to fix the problems. We hired a new nationally recognized operator called Spectra, and we are forming a new Convention and Visitors Bureau to help attract conventions and visitors to Santa Clara. Our efforts, we're confident, will increase our revenues from tourism, and it's the right thing to do, and it's what our city needs. These reforms weren't easy, but change never is, especially if you have special interests who have a financial stake in the status quo. We had to push and fight and make these changes happen. For that, I want to thank my colleagues on the City Council who made the tough votes and who stood up to that special interest pressure. And I want to thank the city staff for showing residents of Santa Clara what good government looks like. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm proud to say that as we've reformed our government, we've also carefully managed our spending. For example, the biennial operating budget the council will be considering next Tuesday is balanced. It is also the most transparent budget we've ever had, and it creates a strong fiscal foundation for Santa Clara. We eliminated deficits projected to be between $13.8 million and $24 million. We have also established a new policy to set aside reserves regularly for the difficult years. Today, we have nearly $300 million in our reserve funds, and it's the most we've had in our reserves since the Great Recession. Just last year alone, we have put in a little over close to 50 million just in a year. And I know our city manager will talk a little bit more about that. I'm proud to say that Santa Clara today sits on a very strong fiscal base. Because of the work that we've done to reform City Hall and strengthen our finances, we look optimistically towards the future. And so here are some of the things Mission City residents can look forward to. City Hall is working together with our residents to revitalize our downtown. I'm just waiting for the clap. So, did Anna leave? Okay, Anna left. And Mary Grizzle, they must have left. Okay. We're finishing the Reed and Grant Street Sports Park. We've reopened the Mission Branch Library, and if you haven't had a chance to look at the renovations, they're beautiful, and we'll be there Saturday afternoon, I think at 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. If you have a chance, take a look at the Mission Branch Library. We're expanding our Northside branch library hours, thanks to Councilmember Watanabe. And for those of you who ever had children and been to a park, we're adding a new restroom at Fairway Glen Park. Yay. I'm going to applaud. Thank you, Kathy, for that too. Because those are the kind of things that are important in life, especially as I get older. All right. We've won the rent arbitration lawsuit against the 49ers, and that's a turnaround of $180 million that will go to pay down our debt over the term of the lease. And that's really important because that's going to assure that we're going to pay down that debt service and not leave that for future generations of Santa Clarans. That was important to us. We're beefing up neighborhood protections around the stadium during NFL games and major events. We're talking about a worker-owned co-op, and I see Kurt Vartan is here. We're going to be talking about that at a study session on July 9th. And the city is invested in bringing back the Parade of Champions in September. So for those of you who remember that, we're all going to be there, I think. I don't know if they're going to let us in it, but yes, it's going to be fun. So the city's invested to bring that back, and I think that's a great part of building the community as well. And what's really important, we're also taking land that was once a landfill and turning it into one of the most exciting retail and entertainment projects in the United States. It's called City Place, and it will be built on our now golf course. The project will create lots of jobs and housing for Santa Clara, but it will also build something that we lack in this community, and I think something that our residents are going to want. It's 1 million square feet of shopping, dining, and entertainment. And our city will be home to top restaurants and a global food market. We will also create on the site a 30-acre Central Park North, which is really important to have the open space, which will connect with all our trails and Eulastack and really provide the much-needed parks and recreation land for North Santa Clara as we develop that out. Last but not least, very importantly, I know our city manager will think so, it will generate about $17 million a year into our general fund for general fund revenue. So I believe City Place will be something that we enjoy today, but it will also be a great and enduring gift for future generations of Santa Clarans. City Place and all the projects I've discussed are very exciting, but I want to do more to enhance the quality of life here in Santa Clara, especially in our neighborhoods. While our community is thriving, we need to improve our parks, our libraries, and our infrastructure to keep up with the future demand of what's happening here and the aging infrastructure we have in Santa Clara. I hear from many of you that we need improvements to our community center, recreation center. We have to fix the International Swim Center. We need to maintain our streets and our storm drains systems and also aging some public safety infrastructure in Santa Clara. So in response, I propose that we put a Parks, Libraries, and Infrastructure bond on the ballot in November 2020. It will be a major effort to keep our neighborhoods great and prepare our city for the future. This will also be a gift to future generations. We're going to start planning now, and we're going to do it with all of you. This next month, we will create and announce a committee for the bond proposal, and we'll come to you. My colleagues and I will sit in your living room. I already signed them up this morning. They're going to sit in your living room with you and your neighbors, and we'll ask you what our neighborhood needs and what our city wants. And we want your ideas and your feedback, and then and only then will we know how to invest in Santa Clara's future. So we hope you will join us. I've already signed them up, right, ladies? Yes, okay. They're, okay, good. You get 2 awards next year, right? So let me wrap this up briefly before I turn things over to City Manager Deanna Santana, who I believe is doing an outstanding job. She has helped us become a more professional and transparent organization. She has built a city staff, and she will introduce them. She has built a city staff that is considered by other cities to be the A-team of city government. Our city attorney, Brian Doyle, who is not with us today, is part of the leadership team. I wish he were here. He's out of town. With his courageous work, we have turned things around, particularly in the area of stadium operations. So let's take a second to thank them and my colleagues as well. I wanted to say a couple things about my colleagues that are here today. I'm going to start with Councilmember Debbie Davis. She's the most senior council member with us now. And Debbie is the chair of the County Water Commission. She does everything water for us in the city. So as we know, water is very important. And so she has a very important role with the county. Debbie also runs our marketing committee and deals with everything advertising. Clara market. Karen's a not only to let me tell you, I'm proudly that I'm more. I'm not.
Together with all the staff here, we make sure that we are managing our funds well. We have enough dollars set aside such that we're investing strategically for the best investments for the services for the city of Santa Clara. So I want to share these forecasts to understand whether they were numbers that could be more in the red. And over the last months, we were able to continue this due diligence fund line item by line item to make sure that we are managing the public's funds with the highest level of responsibility. We're stable in terms of our 10-year financial forecast. We have reserves that will help us get through if we do have a dip or if we do have a known risk factor occur. We've been transparent, as the mayor said. If you just open this year's budget, you will send and financial management. We're also looking at revenue opportunities. And of course, it starts with user fees. 7 priorities, 2 of which were recently adjusted. One was added, the sustainable priority was added, and the other was manage strategically our workforce capacity and resources. That was slightly adjusted to have a more comprehensive approach to how we work with our employees. In your packet in the letter, there's a matrix that attaches all of the different accomplishments under each of those priorities, because we're now tracking in that level to hold us accountable to the work that the council wants completed, as well as we're budgeting within these council priorities so that we can report out the level of investment in each. There's the letter. Take an opportunity to review it. I think it says a lot about what we've accomplished in our mid-year update. And here's where we're going, and that's one thing that the letter doesn't include, and I wanted to just call out a couple of areas that are important for us to focus on. We will continue to focus on eliminating the 2 years of deficit as well as building up the projections. We will continue to address the city council priorities. We are excited to build and enhance on our sustainability program. There's a lot already reflected in the matrix. We want to do more because we understand the critical need for action. We will continue with the stadium oversight as well as neighborhood response. And you will see us becoming more active over the Census 2020 to make sure that we get a complete count with Santa Clara. If you don't know, the federal dollars are distributed largely by formula based on what's the count for population. And so these numbers need to be as high as possible so that we can secure the most amount of funds over the next decade until the next count occurs. So dollars that we invest now pay off over the next 10 years with the formulaic distribution of funds. We'll take on some new areas of service where we'll look at an accessory dwelling unit incentive program targeting teachers and public service employees. We'll continue with our risk management as well as our Public Records Act administration and improvements. And we'll look at other additional areas of strategic communication so that our community is completely apprised of what's happening. And if I just put a plug in, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my blog. I put a blog out every 2 weeks. It gives highlights of what has taken place over the last 2 weeks. And there's also a Santa Clara app that if you just download on your phone, it allows for you to communicate any type of issue that you see, and it will make its way through the department so that we can address your concerns. So take the opportunity to use that, and we've already pushed this out and have already seen improvements in our response as well as our ability to track data. And then I just want to acknowledge that for under the affordable housing. Most recently, the council approved the St. Anton project. It's 196 units of affordable housing. It is the largest affordable housing development right now in the state of California. And regularly, affordable housing projects are designated for affordability for 30 years. And in this case, the council was able to secure 55 years of affordability level, which I think shows really the commitment that this council has. So I'm just going to cross over that in terms of we're testing with the community. How are we doing? Statistically, valid data shows that we are on track. We're meeting the needs of the community. The community is supportive of the quality of life almost to 90%. So it means that our services are measuring up to what this community expects. In large part, the community believes that the city is headed in the right direction. We have a 63%, and this is a 2018 number. And so we are excited to launch another survey over the next year when the council's ready so that we can refresh our data. And overall, our city departments fare very well when we poll about our service delivery and the quality of that service. And I'd like to end with a high note. If you don't know, just this week through the chamberofcommerce.org, the City of Santa Clara was recognized as the best city to live in, #1, not #2 or 3, but #1 in the state of California. So with that, I'll invite Link up to open it up for questions.
All right. Well, as you heard from Mayor Gilmore, the state of the city is great, and it's only going to get better. And I will now invite Mayor Gilmore up to the podium. We will entertain a few questions. We have limited time, but I would ask that you be respectful of others who may have a question, and we would like to be able to cover a variety of topics. So we have Kendra Davis with a microphone. And so if you're interested in asking a question, please raise your hand, and Kendra will come over to you. So if you have a question, please raise your hand.
Or if you have a question for Dorothy Rosa, she would be happy to answer them.
Oh, we have one in the back. All right, Kendra is coming over to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for holding this session. My name is Kathy Almazal, and I'm concerned about the roads. I live between Homestead and Prune Ridge, and I've noticed the tremendous number of cars that are on those roads now. The roads themselves are really in a difficult situation because of all the building that's gone on those roads. And so the city services have been digging up, and I wonder what the plan is for that particular area of transportation. However, I don't know whose department it is.
It's Public Works, and that's the beauty of having this, because everyone's here and ready. So Kathy, are you talking about the actual physical road on Homestead and you said Benton?
Well, I'm talking about Prune Ridge, and Benton, Homestead, and not the roads are not good. Personally, that's my feeling. My husband says I'm losing tire pressure because I keep going over all the holes. But also the number of cars. Is there a long-term plan for the number of cars because of the Apple people and other arteries that are affecting Homestead, Benton, and Prune Ridge? Those are my main concerns.
Yes, and I think that's a legitimate concern on the number of cars because of people are cutting through. However, they're using Waze, they're cutting through. But I'm going to have Craig, our Public Works Director, talk about the physical condition of the roads first. Craig.
Thank you, Mayor. Craig Mobeck, Director of Public Works. And yes, the roads are obviously a big concern for a lot of residents. We've done a number of things as of late. So one item we put in place this year is a pavement preservation ordinance. So what that is going to do is coordinate our 5-year paving plan with a lot of the utility projects, utility companies, our own utility work, to make sure anytime we do pave a road that we get those utilities in advance so we don't cut through newly paved roads. So that's one thing that we're doing. The second part of that is laying out our pavement plan. So I mentioned our 5-year pavement plan. We're fortunate in the upcoming years to get money through Measure B, also through SB1. So that has increased the money that are going towards our pavement program. So this year, in general, we're kicking off our latest construction project within the next few weeks. That's going to be paving a variety of streets around the city of Santa Clara. So that's one measure we're doing. There's different items that go in with that paving program, repaving some streets, resurfacing others, as well as restriping them. So a lot of additional resources coming in through those revenue streams. But in general, trying to keep up. A lot of these roads are 40, 50 years old. They're built with the housing tracts through developers. Now the city is picking up the maintenance, and obviously that maintenance cost is increasing with labor, materials, et cetera. So did that answer your question? Yeah. Oh, in terms of overall traffic volumes, yeah, I mean, that is one thing that is indicative of the job growth as well as the growth of the city, the growth of a lot of the surrounding cities. Despite what we do here in Santa Clara, we do know that a lot of people are traveling to Santa Clara to get to jobs in other cities as well. So as much of that, obviously a concern for a lot of people, that's a little bit tougher to control because there's more global issues that are generating increased traffic and increased number of residents within all the cities. Okay, thank you.
One thing I wanted to mention, because there is, especially with Apple and the other businesses that have located where people are using some of our streets like Homestead and Benton and Prune Ridge, Stevens Creek to get to those locations. The city, we're sort of experimenting with different things. Many of you are familiar probably with our road diet on Prune Ridge, where the two goes into one. We're trying to do traffic calming measures, looking at, expanding the bike lanes and doing whatever we can to try to discourage, that cut through traffic. But it's not the only problem with our city. All the other cities are facing it as people are using their devices to figure out quick ways to get places. But it's really it's a condition of the economy right now and the businesses and the fact that people are trying to get to their locations the quickest way possible, including going through a lot of residential neighborhoods to do that. So we're going to continue with our experimentation, our traffic calming measures, and seeing, what works to keep that type of traffic on the busier expressways and other things and outside of the city. But we don't really have an answer right now. We're just really trying to find what's the best way to do that because it's a huge complaint in our city. Thank you, Kathy.
Do we have any other questions? Please raise your hand. Yes, sir. Hang on 1 second. Kendra's coming to you. Okay.
Kendra's not going to let go of that microphone, Mr. Kim.
Ken Kim here, Korean American Chamber of Commerce. Ms. Mayor, there was news that our city of Santa Clara has a MOU signed with a city in South Korea called Icheon. And I wonder if you can share more about how you came about that arrangement. And I think a lot of folks, good information to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. And yes, we have signed a MOU to have Icheon as a friendship city with Santa Clara. And I'm glad you brought this up because the delegation from Icheon will be here. Let me ask our sister cities people here. July what? 16th through the 19th. Oh, July 16th through the 19th, the mayor and some of the city council members from Icheon will be here in Santa Clara. So we're bringing them to a council meeting, have a special order of business so the public can participate. We're excited about it, and we have a huge Korean population in Santa Clara, and they're really excited about it too. So, so mid-July, they're coming, and we're going to have a new friendship city with Icheon, South Korea. That is correct. So the MOU has already been signed, but they're going to come and we're going to recreate the signing again so everyone can see it. Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Any other questions? All right.
Oh, you're letting me off easy here. I like it. More money for this district. No.
All Right, well, seeing no one, Mayor, if you will give your closing remarks.
Thank you so much, and thank you for participating with us. Last year, we did this for the first time, and we certainly didn't have quite the turnout as we've had so far this year, and it really goes to show how engaged Santa Clara residents are, how much you care about your city, and how special Santa Clara is, and how, once you're a Santa Claran, you're always a Santa Claran, and we really love to see everybody here and participate. So we try to be an open and visible city council. If you have issues, please feel free to contact us, come see us, stop by City Hall. We are still, a small to medium-sized city. We have giant, big city assets in Santa Clara, but we still want to maintain the connection with our community. And I think, having these is really important for us, that we stay connected with the community and you're all connected with us. So thank you and congratulations to all the award recipients. Dorothy, are we okay? Is this all right? Can I end now? Oh, one thing. She just wants to say one thing. Thank you, Dorothy. You don't even need to wait for a city council meeting. We'll take the positive questions and negative questions. We'll take any questions. So thank you very much, and thank you all for coming today. Thank you.